Cartoon Downgrades, Part 11, Total Drama Island. Now, we all love Chris, and we all love these kooky campers, but with every show there must come a season 2 if it's successful. Then along came Total Drama Action, and I'm kind of biased, but this was my favorite season, I'm not gonna lie to you. Then came Total Drama World Tour. This was around the time the show started falling off, and many people felt like that was the worst season, but I digress. I like saying, y'all really thought I was gonna downgrade Revenge of the Island like it wasn't the second best season out of all of these, bruh. This was awesome. Mike and Zoe single-handedly carried this show on their backs. You had a Seth Rogen-like character on it, with mutants in it. What more can you want from a show? All-Stars took the best of each cast and put them up against each other. Boy, Pocketail Island, this is a downgrade! Boy, this whole cast was annoying. Where they ran out of ideas and they just copied Wreck-It Ralph. Man's right here is just multiple personality Mike mixed with Cody. Sky was literally black-haired Zoe. And Total Drama Rama, it just doesn't exist to me. This is a crime against humanity, my childhood, and everything I hold dear. Yo, it has been requested, so here's a new season of Cartoon Downgrades, Part 12, Adventure Time! I love this show, but what I liked about the show was the chaotic nature of the first few seasons. But basically anything can happen at any time. I want to see Finn sing about being a foot. I want to see somebody eat a broom to gain magical power. I want the lesson of the day to just be that Magic Man was an asshole. I'm out here trying to be a buff baby that can dance like a man, or appreciate how dark the Lich was. Sure, the later seasons had their charm. I mean, the baby boo Marceline kills it with her songs. But the episodes start getting predictable and gets played by Princess Bubblegum or some other girl. He gets a new sword to cope with what he just learned. Then he loses his arm just to get a new one later, just to lose it all over again. Rinse and repeat. Love how Finn spent all that time simping over these two for them just to be gay. For all these conversations and arguments, you played yourself. Instant Lands is a note for me, dog. BMO cannot carry this show by himself. You could have gave us an Ice King spinoff about him spiraling out of control trying to control the crown, or continued Fiona and Cake. All these options on the table and y'all just let it sit. Oh look, it's Cake with Cake. Cartoon Downgrades, Part 13, Avengers series, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'm gonna start this off by saying that this was a classic and it started me off on Disney Marvel shows. This show was high-key amazing. My only complaint with this was how blocky they were. Bruce Banner's inner turmoil of how to control the Hulk high-key carried this show. The show carried tension very well in their story arcs. Not to mention that Wasp was a compelling character and she was a baddie in this show. Favorite version of her, to be honest. Then came the show Avengers Assemble. This show was all the hype. They gave us stuff like World Breaker Hulk and the iconic new transformation Claw. Also love that they were designed after the movie. TBH, I had a lot of people in my comment section saying that this was a downgrade. But TBH, I don't see it. This version of Hawkeye was great. They even introduced characters that you wouldn't even see outside of the comic. But another thing that makes this show great other than stellar animation is the telling of how the relationship builds between the Avengers. Now, even though they disagree, they're still a family. But the later seasons turned into this. What is this? This don't even look like the same show. Looks like someone made it off of a Flash player. This is season 5 of that same show. My Cartoon Downgrades, Part 14, SpiderMan. Now, I loved the original series because I had it on VHS and it was one of the main things I would watch on Saturday mornings. In my opinion, this show was way too dark to be on Fox Kids. Now, this show is a classic, but I gotta say, I do not care for the red and blue Venom with that gigantic, ugly mouth. I think it's just the lips that just messed me up. Well, then along came Spectacular Spider-Man. If you didn't care for this series, I don't know what to tell you. It was just the Spider-Man series that everyone thinks is top ranked. I feel like everyone can agree that the most tense episode of this entire series was Black Suit Spidey versus the Sinister Six. You know it's serious if Spider-Man doesn't talk throughout the entire fight. Now, I don't hate Ultimate Spider-Man at all. Yes, the show is a clear downgrade from Spectacular, but it doesn't make it bad. Even though it's not traditionally Spider-Man, it was interesting to see him lead a team. Didn't like the fourth wall breaking stuff, but it's whatever. All in all, it's a great ride, even though it's a downgrade. Now, I don't really get why people don't like Marvel's Spider-Man. It's honestly a solid show. Honestly, the show is not bad. It's just a little different, but to each his own. It has been requested, so here we go. Cartoon Downgrades, Part 15. Looney Tunes! Yes, this was the golden age of cartoons because you could do anything in one of these shows as long as you had a silly joke to follow it up. Like, it's just a cartoon. Violence is okay. Cool is just as long as it's unrealistic. Always that dude. By the time he took on a whole baseball team by himself and then ended up winning in the end. And that's the old pepper that's putting it over the plate, boy. That episode had to be when he tormented the opera singer, bro. This is iconic right here. Call the movie that defined my entire childhood. Oh yeah, it's called Space Jam. Guys, if you ain't like this movie, you can get out my face, bro. You and me, we're a different breed. Get crucified for saying this, but Lola Bunny was a baddie. Every guy watching this has at least thought that at least once. Politics Unleashed is a fever dream that everyone buried. Ever see Looney Tunes in space being Power Rangers? Watching Duck Dodgers. Oh Christ, stop making everything babies in the Looney Tunes show. Like, y'all domesticated the Looney Tunes. It has their dog. Burn this, burn it all. We gotta go. Let's get to work on this next Cartoon Downgrade, part 17. Bob the Builder. For one of those shows that made me just miss being a kid. It was so peppy, you couldn't just help but to sing along to it. Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Bob the Builder, yes we can. Where Scoop was always my favorite out of all his machines. Scoop was always on the prowl while he was on the job. Believe me that this man was a goon with the ladies.
Round if you like.
I've got to move these crates.
Oh, you don't need to start yet. Bob hasn't even built the depot. Come on, Scoop knows it all.
That man plotting. He was too big of a machine to be talking this soft.
Hello, we're making a sign.
My man sound like Pika from One Piece. Came ready, steady, build. More updated style, but it wasn't bad. It was only small updates to Bob. Who are you? That's Carl the contractor. Andrew the architect. Chris the carpenter. Man, sure not Bob. Man doing stuff like this? What? Okay, lumber lad. I'm gonna need you to release Bob. We got a good one today. Cartoon Downgrades, part 18. Tom and Jerry. This show is a staple for our childhood, but I gotta expose Tom today. Everybody wanna call Mordecai a simp. Everybody wanna call Finn a simp. Nobody called out Tom. All this man did was simp, and would go above and beyond to simp. Gonna lie, is you is or is you ain't my baby is a slap. Is you ain't my baby. I hate to play devil's advocate, but Jerry deserved most of the stuff that came to him, to be honest with you. I'm gonna talk about how this girl completely missed her entire mouth. Tom would be doing the extra to talk to these females. And it's Synonymous Prime every time. Continues to get his girls taken by this same cat and Jerry. Every time you go to a public place and want to talk to a girl, there's always a dude trying this hard. Like, man, I stepped away for 2 minutes. Who is this? Yes, my favorite Tom and Jerry character. Froggy with a corn and he did right. Camel. New show really ain't it for me, Chief. First of all, I can see people. Absolutely should never see the full body of a character. This animation looks like moving stickers. It's not for me, Chief. This is a nope. Here comes one from under the sea. Cartoon Downgrades, part 19. SpongeBob SquarePants. I absolutely love SpongeBob. SpongeBob has to be the definitive cartoon show. See, my thing is, I love early SpongeBob though. The original SpongeBob, it just hit different, you know? A few seasons is where we get all the quality memes from. Many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man. Dog, I'm Dirty Dan.
Chocolate? Chocolate! Chocolate!
Personally, I believe that SpongeBob should have ended as soon as he became a goofy goober. Nothing is topping this man in the movie. Where these new seasons are messing up because they keep just trying to put out gross as funny. Absolute gross new faces they got SpongeBob making. I'm here to laugh and sing. If I want nightmare fuel like this, I'm going to Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh boy, Cartoon Downgrades, part 21. I know y'all remember Thomas and Friends. Now, this is what I would call a straight up struggle tune. This is a cartoon that you would watch when you absolutely did not have cable. This show was absolutely just something to watch because it was on. There are people who love Thomas the Tank Engine. They're kids, but they love it. Faces on the trains would just creep me out, to be honest with you. You asked me today to name something that happened in one of these episodes, I couldn't do it. For a fact, people only know 3 characters out of the Thomas series. Green Train Percy, or Topham Hatt, and there's only Thomas himself. As cringe as these faces are, it actually gets worse. Cause you wouldn't think it would get creepier than this, but it's time for a repressed memory. I know y'all remember JJ the Plane. Y'all forgot about this, didn't you? These kids shows were a different breed. I hate that this is even in my history. This is demonic. Get out of here. I mean, you're not gonna wake up and see this in your dreams tonight. This is nasty. There's so much detail. This seems like it should be a kid's show. This would be something on Adult Swim at 4 a.m. Obviously weak green screen. Like, look at this. He looks like he's copied and pasted onto this.